Insufficient number. Ms. Lee is recognized.
Amendment at the desk. Lee amendment number 2.
The clerk will read.
An amendment offered by Ms. Lee at the end of the bill. Section, none of the funds made.
Ms. Lee is recognized for 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise to offer an amendment which would prohibit federal agencies from unduly penalizing financial institutions.
Please give Ms. Lee the courtesy. Please.
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Lee.
It's a very important amendment, although I have to say I'll probably withdraw it at the end, but I'd like to engage in
Ms.
debate about this.
Ms. Lee deserves the courtesy of being heard. Please proceed. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman. This amendment would prohibit federal agencies from unduly penalizing financial institutions for providing basic banking services to marijuana businesses in states where it is legal. It would ensure that legitimate business owners can comply with state regulations and help ensure that regulators and law enforcement officials can hold businesses accountable. And for the 47 states and jurisdictions that have passed marijuana reform laws, this amendment would provide important financial certainty to business owners, employees, government agencies, and financial institutions. Now, regardless of how you feel about the legalization of marijuana, I think we can all agree that each state has made their own decision to take action and pass a range of various laws pertaining to medical or recreational marijuana, 47 states. It has become increasingly apparent that there is a need to align federal and state law when it comes to addressing the banking crisis. Last year, the legal marijuana industry was worth $6.7 billion, but this is largely forced to operate exclusively in cash. In many ways, it's an underground economy. These outdated and predatory policies are a major obstacle to these small businesses and only serve to undermine their financial security. Moreover, enforcing small businesses, to operate as all cash businesses, which is what they do.
You suspend for a minute. Please give Ms. Lee your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't know if any of you are from any of these 47 states, but if you are, you probably know what I'm talking about in terms of these cash transactions, which also are very dangerous. But they make the jobs of state regulators and tax collectors unnecessarily difficult. And it leaves these entrepreneurs, their employees, and the business itself vulnerable to dangerous criminal targeting. So let me be clear. It is a matter of public safety and economic necessity. In fact, the California State Treasurer, John Chang, has called for action on the marijuana banking industry, saying we all have an obligation to take reasonable and necessary steps to protect our citizens and ensure that businesses operate legally within California or any of the other 47 states, and that they're able to legally engage in banking and commerce. I visited small businesses. Maybe you have visited some of your dispensaries and businesses in your home districts, and I know how the impact of the lack of access to financial services can have. So I would like to hear your comments from the other side and see if we can work on this as we move forward.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. Mr. Graves, or any comment? Or?
Withdraw the amendment, or
I intend to withdraw the amendment. Yeah.
Well, great. I enjoyed your presentation. I'm ready to roll on.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll talk as this.
Mr. Quigley, and then we're going to roll on.
And I appreciate her willingness to withdraw, but I think we need to add the fact that allowing legal marijuana businesses access to the banking system makes it easier to identify individuals operating illegally in states that do not have marijuana laws on the books. And regardless of how each of us may view the legalization of marijuana, I think we all agree that financial institutions should be allowed to serve businesses that are operating legally. Thank you. We support her cause.
Ms. Lee.
Thank you. I'll close by just reminding you that in, I believe it was 2015, in a financial services bill, this amendment was passed with broad bipartisan support on the floor. So I hope that as it moves to the floor, that we can work on something to make sure this is part of the
Thank
debate
you.
and gets included.
Thank you, Ms. Lee. You've withdrawn your amendment. We accept that. Further amendments?